So the Cleveland Cavaliers just absolutely dominated the Detroit Pistons. It was one of those flow state games where everything was clicking, and it was pretty impressive considering those games against Detroit are usually pretty choppy and physical. The Cavs took the Pistons out of this game by the second quarter, really even the first 5 minutes of the first quarter. It was everything you could have hoped for, and even though it is just a regular season game and it's early, one thing this game showed is how deep the Cavs are this year compared to last, especially on the bench, because we have to remember that both Max Strus and Darius Garland are out due to injuries, and the Cavs lost Sam Merrill early in this game as well, who has been red hot to open up the season from behind the arc. He is just a winning player, and the Cavs still rolled right through what is viewed to be a playoff team by most this year. So in this video, I want to talk about and recap the win. I want to talk about any news going on with the team, and I of course want to talk about why this year's version of the Cavs are deeper than you think. But before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 60,000 subscribers, and with your support, I believe that we can get there super fast. Alright, so the Cavs beat the Pistons 116-95. They were up by 30 for most of this game, and even though this video is going to be about depth and how deep this team is, Donovan Mitchell has been playing like a superstar and has been putting everyone on his back. I know scoring in the NBA is up in general, like a lot. Even Lauri Markkanen just had a 50 bomb with the Jazz. It feels like 50 is the NBA's new 40, but Mitchell is averaging over 30 a game through the first 4. Nothing can stop him offensively, and even though I know this won't last because with Garland and Strus back, he will touch the ball a bit less. And speaking of fire, Sam Merrill has not been human. He has been unconscious. I'm hoping the injury last night was minor. I believe he suffered like a hip contusion. I know especially early in the season that the training staff is going to make sure to take all precautions, so I'm assuming he will be out at least a few games, but nonetheless, it seems like this is his breakout season. He always has had it in him, it was just a mindset thing. But you can tell over this offseason he developed confidence because he is looking to score. He is like the perfect two-way option because he has very underrated defense. Merrill currently posts a defensive rating that is just below team average, hovering around 112.5, a very solid mark for a guard in a versatile switching system. He's averaging just under 1 steal a game at 0.9 in those projected 28 minutes per night that he plays, and he ranks top 3 amongst Cavs guards in both deflections and defensive field goal percentage allowed to opponents, which sits at 42.8%. What's unique to me about Merrill is his screen navigation and his discipline. Analytic tracking shows that he successfully fights through or contains dribble handoff plays on over 70% of his on-ball matchups, allowing just 0.85 points per possession in isolation defense, a number that rivals starting NBA wings. And while he definitely isn't much of a shot blocker, averaging only 0.3 blocks per game, Merrill regularly contests without fouling, producing a foul rate of just over 1.1 per 36 minutes. His advanced impact is even clearer in lineup data. Units with Merrill on the floor have allowed 4.7 fewer points per 100 possessions compared to bench units last season. And that highlights his value as a net positive defender in both starters and also bench roles. And along with his strong three-point shooting, Merrill's energy, smart rotations, and ability to defend at the point of attack makes him an indispensable part of the Cavs' two-way identity. So he all around is just a huge piece for this team, and we are going to need him to keep this up throughout the entire season. Obviously, get healthy first. That's the #1 priority, but I'm very excited to see what he can do throughout this year. Another big depth piece that the Cavs picked up over the offseason was Larry Nance Jr. This move just made sense given the cost and the franchise connection with the Nance family, and I'm actually very impressed with how Larry completely reinvented his game. He is a spot-up shooter now, and he makes open shots with great consistency, something the Cavs were missing in the playoffs with their role players last year. Obviously, Nance is not going to log a ton of minutes, but he plays aggressive, he's got a little bit of punk to him, he goes away from the soft narrative, and he can shoot too. I know he had a 3 last night. He's a guy throughout the season that is going to see opportunities, and I'm glad we have him now over some of the deeper bench options we had last year. Now for the next guy I want to talk about. With Darius Garland being out, Craig Porter Jr. has actually carved out a unique all-around role for himself. He's distinguished himself as a high-energy guard who consistently impacts both ends of the floor. This season, Porter is averaging about 7 points per game with 1.7 rebounds, 1.3 assists, and also 1.3 steals in a little over 17 minutes per contest, with an efficient 59% field goal percentage in limited shot volume. He's obviously not a high usage scorer, but his ability to fill gaps is very evident across multiple categories. He can push the pace, attack the glass, including offensively, and serve as a secondary playmaker for bench lineups. While his scoring is obviously modest, his true shooting percentage is 58.5%, and that's above league average for his position, even though it's only been just a few games. And he's become more confident spotting up from 3, shooting just below 40%. In past seasons, I was very skeptical of Porter, but he seems to have taken the leap, and he could be a good 8 to 12 minutes per game type of player when everyone is healthy. I really am just thinking about when the entire team is healthy, we could see a starting lineup of Darius, Garland, Donovan Mitchell, DeAndre Hunter, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen, and a bench of Craig Porter Jr., Lonzo Ball if it's not a back-to-back, Max Strus, Sam Merrill, Larry Nance, and Dean Wade. Obviously, I know there will be at least one injury pretty much at all times throughout the season, so that is why I included 11 guys in that rotation, so it would be 10, and I even think it would be cool to play Tyrese Proctor a little bit. I know he's a second round pick, but the dude has got a deep bag offensively. I know Jalen Tyson has been playing right now with the injuries, but in a few weeks he will be out of the rotation. I like his aggression, but he is not up to par with the skill sets on this team. I'm fine with him being on the team. You can plug him in for injuries, but I just don't think he does anything well outside of defense. At least Okoro could drive and make layups in transition. He can't even do that. This may be a crazy take, and I know Kenny and the front office would not do this because it's the core 4 and because of the contract, but ideally to me the best starting lineup the Cavs could put out on the floor is Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Sam Merrill, DeAndre Hunter, and Evan Mobley. I think spacing and ball movement wise, that is an elite group to put out there. Now I guess it doesn't matter, you can just start Allen and take him out and not play him a lot and just adjust it that way. It's not really a big deal, but I think when healthy, that would be an electric 5 to have out on the court together. And even better would be Lonzo in there instead of Garland for defense and the pace. Anyways, that's besides the point. Those are just my early season hypotheticals, and I have hundreds of them. Let's get into the box score of last night's win over Detroit. So Sam Merrill played 17 minutes. He had 11 points on 4 of 7 shooting. He was 3 of 6 from behind the arc, and he was plus 13 in terms of plus minus. DeAndre Hunter had 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists, and those 6 assists were actually a career high. There was a hilarious bit where Donovan Mitchell found out that that was his career high in his press conference, and he just kind of laughed out loud in the locker room, and he kind of rage baited Hunter into yelling at him. Evan Mobley played 30 minutes. He had 15 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. He was plus 27, so good all-around performance, especially considering he was only out there for those 30 minutes. Jarrett Allen, he had 20 and 7, definitely one of his best games of the season so far. And Donovan Mitchell, in just 29 minutes, he had 35 points. He was 13 of 18 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3, very efficient night, and he led the team in plus minus, being plus 38. That is just crazy. Off the bench, really nobody had to do anything. Dean Wade actually led the scoring with 5 points. He had 6 rebounds though, and then Larry Nance had a 3, Tyrese Proctor also had 3, and then Porter had 4 points and 7 big rebounds, which is just crazy for him being a guard. That's really all I got for this video. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point, and if you haven't yet, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe because your support truly means the world. Also, please let me know what you would like to see next, and until then, I will see you all later.